Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Get early access to Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. 25% off the i8 bed, our most popular. Plus free home delivery. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Welcome to the Neurodivergent Experience podcast, a podcast where we share the lived experiences of neurodivergent people to help create a better understanding for our community.
Join us every week as we bring you honest, raw, and inspiring conversations with specialists, advocates, and individuals who know exactly what it's like to live the neurodivergent experience.
I'm Jordan James, a neurodivergent specialist, father of neurodivergent children, husband to a neurodivergent wife, and author of The Autistic Experience, and I'm joined by my best friend.
I'm Simon Scott. I'm an autistic ADHD broadcaster, actor, and advocate. Join us as we journey into unraveling the neurodivergent experience.
Hello, and welcome back to the Neurodivergent Experience. I'm Jordan, and I'm with Scotty.
Hello,
Scotty.
I am here again.
You are here again.
Hello, I'm back.
I'm so glad, otherwise I'd be very lonely.
Yes, you would, wouldn't you?
And so would the audience, and they'd be like, oh, it's Jordan just talking by himself.
Unedited.
No one wants that. That was the first podcast I ever tried, I literally just recorded myself talking for like an hour and then literally put it on Spotify, and it got like 50 listens. And I was like, that is 50 very, very traumatized people now. 50 very disappointed.
Never saw them again.
And I never tried it again. And now I'm here doing this, boring everyone else in a very different way. So you asked me before we started, you were like, oh, did you have a good week? And I just went blank. I was like, I can't remember what I did. I've just had a really weird week of just working and playing a lot of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Because it is very, very stimmy game. Cool. It's very satisfying because you just smash the crap out of the entire environment. And you know, there is some sort of story. I'm not quite sure what it is. There's a story. He wants bananas. He's got young Pauline with him, and she wants to get to the surface of this planet that they're on, and they're in the planet core, and there's lots of bananas everywhere, and there's lots of fossils. So basically, I'm going around digging fossils and eating bananas and smashing the crap out of everything in my
like
park.
A heist movie, I'm in.
Oh, dude, it's just turn your brain off and
man.
Just smash everything around you. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, very stimmy that, isn't it?
Oh, dude, It's actually really good for my mental
health. I bet.
But yeah, so I thought apart from that, just chilling, really, just enjoying life. And Facebook kind of blew up on me, which was really, really cool. You know, I actually had some posts reach more than 7 people, which was
wonderful.
Yeah,
hello.
Yeah, the last one reached 500,000 people, which was a bonus.
Mental, isn't it?
Considering it was all about you know, our version of a man that we discussed in our episode, and how I've ended up, you know, having my beautiful wife and an amazing life because I wasn't a toxic piece of shit that shat all over everyone around me just to raise myself up. And yeah, I got some attention from some incel websites or incel pages who no doubt shared my thing, calling me a pussy and
hashtag super
simp.
Shit.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd never heard of simp before. So they were trying to use it as an insult. And I was like, shrimp? What's it? Oh, simp. What the fuck is a simp?
Oh,
and I had to ask my daughter, and she told me, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I've
That's
reached
the
that
worst thing
point.
I've ever been called.
Yeah, I've reached that point, dude, where like, you know, I'm doing that thing where I was like, oh, I used to know what it was, and then it passed me by. Like all the words that people use now. I heard somebody the other day that was like a football celebration, and one of the like guys that was commenting on it was like, oh my God, after this goal, he was aura farming. was like, what the fuck is that?
No, I don't. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
All I know is that calling me something like that is basically, you might as well just call me woke, and call that an insult. It's amazing how these people sort of take things that are like positive or things that are like, perfectly reasonable in the world of normal people, and they go, right, I'm going to call you this, therefore that's an insult. It's like calling me a liberal as an insult, and I'm like,
you goddamn commie.
Yeah, you fucking progressive types. How dare you not live in the 1950s where we had segregation and women were basically our footstools? I'm like, yes.
Do you remember the good old days that I wasn't alive for?
Yeah. The funniest thing is that it's like nearly 400 positive comments from women and some men as well who are doing it right. And I got like 20 from incels, which obviously I just block and delete. But it's quite funny because it's like, well, dude, if you just read like just a few of the very positive comments from the women on here, maybe you might actually do better in life.
No, but that requires reading.
Maybe.
It requires reading.
Yeah, that involves educating themselves on more than the trash that they've been fed, spoon-fed.
Can't see it.
Someone said that I was like having a go at them, and I was like, I'm not having a go at you. I feel
don't use Facebook,
sorry
dude.
for you,
It does my head in.
but also do better.
I mean, I only have to see how people go on our bloody estate Facebook group. Karis is like, you'll never guess what somebody said now, and it's like, I don't care. I don't care who parked the car where. Has anyone seen your cat? Yeah. I'm all for like community, but when the people get so triggered, dude, on Facebook, I have to kind of step away from
Facebook is one of the worst places for people being triggered, because I actually turned commenting off on this post unless you're my follower for 24 hours. And I was like, maybe you'll cool down after that period of time, and thanks for the follow.
Set your alarms.
Yeah, but and to be fair, I didn't get any more negative comments. Well, I didn't get any more incel comments because they were like, But what I did get was very, very triggered incels that couldn't comment. That then private messaged me like, oh, that's it. You're having a go at us, but then you turn off commenting, you coward. And I was like, yeah. If that's what you want to believe, you carry on in your very, very deluded little
Just another day of being an
bubble.
incel foot soldier.
Yeah, so I deleted them as well. I was like, I'm sure
you can't do this to me.
It's funny because I was just like imagining them sitting there just getting so triggered by one person having one opinion that's different to theirs and getting so angry that they've literally come into my DMs. And it's like, I am living in your brain now.
I'll sue you.
I'll sue you with my tiny, tiny penis.
Relax.
Oh, dude, it was so funny. But one line from the post that I really loved was my last line, and it said, be the change, don't expect the change. So the whole post really was just about, how my version of what I am as a man. And it's like, be kind, be humble, treat a woman kindly.
Yeah, treat people how you want to be treated.
How dare you?
I don't think I will. Oh God!
But it definitely opened my eyes to some red pill shit, which I just don't really go anywhere near. And it seems that these guys have just been really badly hurt, or they've just chosen the wrong women for them, because women get to have a choice and go, I don't want to be with you. Now women are actually like, oh, actually, I want to be more picky. I'm going to be more picky. Because I have more choice and I have more self-confidence. And these guys now have to try harder. And they're like, rather than trying harder, rather than bettering themselves and actually trying harder to find a woman, they're just like, no, fuck women, they're all terrible. You're like, okay. My son told me the other day, apparently, like less women are having babies in the West.
Oh, because massively, yeah.
Because the whole coupling thing is going down the drain.
Oh, there's a big thing happening in Japan at the moment where there's just like barely any kids being born. And it's because people are like choosing to work, or outright women are just going, no, I don't want to be married or have kids. And that's cool. Each to their own. But it is crazy how you can really sort of see in the data how life's sort of fluctuating based on these sort of like societal decisions, and how people are getting really hung up on some people's choices. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But that does lead me to the whole reason we're here, which is perception sensitivity dysphoria. For those who haven't heard of it, it's because it's basically a newly invented term, which describes a type of rejection sensitivity dysphoria, which is the more known type. And it's basically a part of rejection that makes you question how others perceive you. So it's specific like that. And that is a big problem for us as neurodivergent people. Just in general, it's a big problem for a lot of people who lack self-confidence. But as we've discussed before, we are hypersensitive beings, which brings the whole sensitivity, and it escalates it in our brain beyond what would normally be something that would maybe bother someone or annoy someone or upset someone. It becomes catastrophic in our brains to the point where it can lead to severe mental health issues. And I think that a big part, we're not going to go deep into the incel thing, that's just what we're talking about at the beginning of the episode, but I actually think that is a big part of this new culture of women just think this about me. That's what all women are just thinking this about me. And then it's really easy to sort of get lost down that dark hole of shame and self-hate. But then, they kind of push that back and be like, no, I'm actually fine. It's you that's the problem. And this is what I mean about this perception sensitivity dysphoria. It can lead you to some very dark places. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think about sort of perception sensitivity, and like you say, it's a phrase that I've only heard coined recently. Like I first heard it through working on the Autistic Culture podcast, and then I've read it in other places. But actually trying to find concrete research on it just keeps coming up to rejection sensitivity, which I think is quite interesting in that I hate being perceived. Like I feel really in a spotlight, which is ironic because I like a spotlight. I thrive in one. I'm sort of a performer actor by nature. And it's just this sort of like feeling. Like, I don't know how it sort of manifests for you, but like rejection hurts, it stabs, and it's very sharp. But perception sensitivity keeps me up at night. It really does. I can think of a handful of moments I've had it, but I'll talk about something very recent. I've had a really important meeting at work this week where I've had to sort of like pitch my own ideas based off some like research and some vision that I've been trying to put together creatively. And the whole time I'm doing this meeting, dude, I'm looking at the two people in the window opposite me, and I'm really, really trying so hard to not look at them and go, what are they thinking about me? They think I'm just waffling on, or they think I'm a complete idiot, or it never seems to be in the, oh, they think I'm doing such a great job. It's how am I messing this up? What am I doing wrong? What are they thinking? Are they going to go away from this call and talk to each other and go, well, that was a waste of time? Like, just the record that plays in my head where it's just picking up all of this data and just trying to piece it all together. And it's my senses taking over. It's my bottom-up processing taking over, and it's trying to protect me. But at the same time, it's completely messing with my head. It's messing with like my rhythm of speaking and everything. Because I'm just looking at, there's times, dude, when I do this podcast and I'm talking about something and I look at your face on the screen and I'm waiting for you to just go, yeah, I'm not sure about that. It's like I'm waiting for it. It's just constantly like on the cusp of my thinking. Like, even now I feel like I'm waffling, and that's that sort of perception of going, oh, people are listening to this and going, oh, listen to Sai just like, going on about it. And then that's when I just internalize and go quite mute and then don't want to talk or don't trust what I'm saying. So I say nothing at all.
Well, that's why I self-deprecate quite a lot in a jokey manner, because like I said right at the beginning of this, it's like if this whole thing was just me talking, that would be terrible. And I say stuff like that. And my perception of the people listening is, oh God, this guy talking again. And it doesn't matter how confident.
This guy on a podcast talking again? How dare he?
It's like, fucking hell, this guy. I'm listening to this podcast. This guy's talking at me. What a load of shit. Yeah. And it's funny because the more self-aware I am, the worse it is. And I kind of envy, but I'm so glad I'm not one of these people, is those people that have the Dunning-Kruger effect, where they're just so confident in their abilities to do something that it doesn't matter how shit they are at it, they don't realize it. And one of the greatest examples is like when I used to many, many years ago, used to watch like Britain's Got Talent or Pop Idol and things like that. When you'd have, and I swear some of these were fake, right? But there's got to be some people that would just walk into that room with the judges, sing like a strangling cat, and think that they're really great because like their parents told them. And you're just like, I envy that in a way, that you can have that much
blind
confidence,
man.
That you blatantly can't sing. And I don't mean the ones that were okay or they were a little bit off tone. I mean the ones that literally were terrible, which says to me that maybe they were a bit fake,
they were definitely glams for the slaughter. But what always used to make me laugh about those ones, I remember like watching X Factor, where people would come up and they'd be like, I'm going to be the biggest pop star you've ever seen. They'll have never heard of you after you've heard me sing like a strangers in the night, and they all get a buzz. But what even amazed me after that is as soon as they stormed out, they'd then be like, you're going to regret this. I'm the biggest name you ever. And then the mum comes in and the nana comes in. You should be ashamed of yourself. Like that always.
Yeah, it's just the Jerry Springer show.
Yeah, it just always used to amaze me how you get somebody who would come up. Like I can sing. I've learned how to sing. I can hold a tone. My mum's absolutely tone deaf. But at no point would my mum go, I'm a better singer than you. It's just like, it just amazes me how people would walk into these sorts of rooms, just absolute blind confidence. And I used to walk into like auditions and stuff on merit and would sit there and look at the people in front of me and go, they think, who the fuck is this guy? Like, why is he wasted our time? Even though I was there on merit. It's, my brain, man, my brain.
But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of confidence in my own abilities, and I know the positives and the negative things about me. If I didn't, Facebook helps because they're happy to tell me, or they're happy to tell me what they think.
That's why I don't do it.
Yeah, but I get to this point where I'm like, if I meet people or if I do a talk, I will automatically assume that no one actually thought that it was good. Like, I will always go straight to the negative, and it's especially when it comes to people. And I think the only time where I have complete and utter confidence and my perception goes the other way, and I just assume that people think that's amazing, is my photography. Like, I don't ever think, I mean, there are people that don't like my photography. Good for them, I guess. Sad, decrepit people. They're terrible, terrible people. The worst people in the world.
I saw your photos. I thought, wow, what bad photos.
Bad photos, yeah. The worst photos ever.
I've ever seen. I could say great
worst photos.
Look at my photos.
Look at my camera. It's the best camera that's ever been made.
Get my camera.
Anyway. But yeah, my photography, I'm just like, well, everybody must love it, and if they don't, I don't care that they don't love it. So I don't even think about people who don't love my photography. It doesn't come into any of my self-confidence whatsoever when it comes to my photography. Enough people, and I've won enough awards and had enough highly rated professionals within photography telling me how phenomenal my photography is, that I don't care if people don't like it. I just assume that everybody does. I just assume that everyone's like, that is amazing, because I've been told it so many times. But it's still, even with like this podcast or just me doing my talks, also like lessons and stuff, when I've ever given photography lessons, I still think, oh, I'm not good enough for this. I know I am. I know I am. Like, I don't need to be told that I am. I know I am, but there is that rejection sensitivity that becomes perception. My perception of others, my perception of myself is that they didn't think it was very good.
The only thing that I'm like the other way around with is golf. In that I play golf and I'll play bad and I'll go, oh, I'm better than this. Come on, you've got better potential than this. You can play better than this. But in like absolutely everything else in life, like even doing this podcast, you know, I get told a lot of the time, they go, oh, I love how you speak. I love how you talk about things. I love your perspective. Every single time one of those messages comes through, my brain just goes, okay, don't know what to do with that now. And I've got loads of experience. I've worked on like award-winning programs before, and there have been so many times, dude, so many times where I've said something on this show and I listen to the edit and I have to stop myself taking it out, because even though I know what I've said, I believe in it's my perspective and I trust what I'm saying, there is that part of me that goes, could have said that better, or maybe people will go, oh, that's bullshit, or he's fibbing, and that I really have to stop that record. I really, really have to stop myself. In the early days, I cut a lot of me out of this show. And even you said to me, you were like, just trust yourself. And I'm like, how? Because I just sort of always view myself how I think other people see it. And 99% of the time, I'm always wrong.
Yeah, you are wrong. It's so hard, because like I can't even sit here going, well, I've got some advice for you, because I still feel like that. The only thing that I think gets me to the point where how can I put this? Is that I just don't care. I think I have to make myself not care. And the whole circle of control that we spoke about last week, that massively helps. Now, because I just go, okay, I'll do a talk or I'll do a lesson. If they didn't like it, and I think it's worse that when someone pays me for something.
Oh, yeah.
Like if I was volunteering to do something, I'd be like, well, take it or leave it. But if someone's actually paying me, I'm just like, well, no, I need to be really good because somebody's actually paying me for something. And I get to a point where I just go, oh, I've got to give them their money's worth, you know, because I have that integrity. I got that integrity that I don't want to screw people over. I definitely don't want to scam people. And I almost feel like if I didn't do a good job and they've paid me, that I'm a scammer, because that's what my birth mother was. She was literally convicted and sentenced in a court of law for fraud. She was a scammer, con artist. She conned me into thinking that I was a terrible person and she was great. You know, that's what abusers do. But she's literally a convicted felon. That's what she is. And so I have this idea, this part of me that goes, oh, well, I'm her son. And I didn't realize that she was like that until she got arrested and the trial. And even during the trial, she was convincing me that she was innocent, and I was believing it because I was brainwashed.
That's gaslighting, though, isn't it? 101.
Yeah, big time. So now I sort of know the truth and understand that she was literally a criminal. I go, oh my God, that means maybe that's in me. Maybe because I was brought up with it. Maybe that's nurture. And so I'm always thinking, am I screwing people over? I'm not, because I actually realize that it's an intentional thing. I can't screw people over unless I'm like, I'm just going to go and screw people over.
Yeah.
And I've seen so much of people scamming people, and especially when it comes to autism with all the so-called cures and
snake oil salesman
therapies and the snake oil salesman shit. I think because I'm so aware of it, I will go out of my way to make sure that I don't do it. But at the same time, I always end up questioning myself as like, was I good enough? Was that lesson good enough? Was it worth that much money? Am I charging too much? Maybe I'm not good enough. And I always get people giving me positive feedback. I've never actually had anyone turn around and go, well, I want my money back, or that wasn't worth it. But yet I will still go there in my brain. But it's out of my control.
I was just about to say, there's like, you can't control it, but then sometimes I can't control the train of thought. And another thing I can't control is the need for an ad break. So we should probably go to one of those as well. But when we come back on the other side of the break, we'll pick back up by talking about perception sensitivity. Don't go anywhere.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Get early access to Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. 25% off the i8 bed, our most popular. Plus free home delivery. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
This episode of the Neurodivergent Experience is brought to you by RTN Mental Health Solutions. With up to a 5-year waiting list for autism and ADHD assessments via the NHS, and that's even if you get a referral from your GP, getting an assessment in the UK has never been harder. So if you're like me and can't wait anymore, going private may be the best option for you. RTN offers online assessments for kids aged 6 right up to adults. To make it more accessible, RTN can offer payment plans up to 5 months. You can access their remote services from the comfort of your home anywhere in the UK, and RTN offers group and one-to-one counselling, a private route to access ADHD medication following the assessment, and will even fight for you if your GP doesn't accept the results. So if you live in the UK and can't wait to get an assessment, go to www.rtnmentalhealthsolutions.com and use the discount code RTN23, making it even more affordable for all of our listeners to get an autism and ADHD assessment.
Welcome back to the Neurodivergent Experience. I'm Simon Scott, as always, with my partner in not committing any crimes, Jordan James. And I was like,
I'm not a criminal.
No, Your Honour. So in this section, one of the things that I want to talk about, Jordan, and it's something that, I've, as I've discussed, have struggled with how I've been perceived, but an extra layer has entered my life as I go through the unmasking process. I have always been so self-conscious and self-aware of people. I mean, I'll walk down a street and I'm over 30 years old now and I'll see 2 teenage girls laughing. And if they both look up at me, my brain goes, oh, they're laughing at me. Like it still happens.
Yeah.
But one of the things that has been a real sort of mental challenge for me is stimming in public, in private, and how I'm perceived because of that. So you've been in your journey a lot longer than I have, and I will say you do stim more openly than I do. I still think I'm quite a highly masking person in moments. So how was that in the process for you? I mean, do you still, even when you like stim in public, do you get like perception sensitivity? Do you feel eyes on you, or you worry about people like looking at you and judging?
To be fair, even when I didn't understand, well, I was neurodivergent, I didn't really give a shit. I've just kind of, it's weird. It's like I will really care what people think of me if it matters. So in work, what people think of you matters. You know, it matters. You know, whether you get on with your colleagues. It matters if you're looking to get promotion, if you're looking to get a raise, if you're looking to be successful in your job. Plus, you pretty much have to get on with the people you work with, whether you like it or not, because they're your colleagues, and that's how it is. Unless it's a HR issue, and that's a different thing.
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole different thing. But just in general, you know, it's probably better to get on with your colleagues than not. And most of the time, I didn't. So that was something that I struggled with. So I think it just in public in general, when it comes to being myself, you know, wearing Minion t-shirts, carrying cuddly toys around with me, I was doing that all the time. I never cared that I mean, what other people thought. Like, I did it before I was autistic. Hold on.
Washing's done. Oh, I'll keep this in.
Nah.
God, how fucking long is that? She pay for the bonus packet.
And we're back.
Anyway.
Fucking washing machine. What's my name again? You know what? Fuck it. Keep that in. Yeah, that's how ADHD works. I was on a flow, and my washing machine decided to have a party.
Cuddly toys in public. You sort of did that anyway, right? Was what you were saying.
So I just had this self-confidence where I didn't really care what people thought of me in public, but in private spaces, in important spaces, it mattered a lot more. And I think a lot of it is because I knew I was just a big kid. Like, I've never felt like I was the adult in the room. I've never felt that I was the authority in the room. I've always been very dominant in my demeanor and the way that I'm very opinionated, you know, for people who haven't noticed in the 70 odd episodes that we've been having. And I know that people will either love me or hate me. Kind of a bit like Simon Cowell. We're talking about Pop Idol and that, and the whole Simon Cowell thing. He'll just say what he's thinking. Yeah, he's Marmite. Yeah. So I've always known that I'm Marmite, and I've always been okay with that. Like, if people didn't like me, people didn't like me. But I suppose when it mattered, and I'll give you a quick example. When Sylvia and I were trying to have couple friends, so we were in that period where the kids were a little bit older, and you know, we wanted to start being people rather than just parents. Where we started to want to branch out, you know, our circle of friendships from outside the family and have adult conversations rather than just talking about SpongeBob. And we struggled with adult friends. So most of them were from people that worked with Sylvia, and she'd get on with people, and then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you want to hang out?" And we'd go to the house.
You have a husband. I have a husband.
You have a husband. I have a husband.
In common.
A lot of the times, that's the thing, dude, is that I was so desperate for friendship because I've always been desperate for friendship because of how I was treated. I always wanted friends, just couldn't seem to get them. And I think a lot of it is because I do come across as so desperate, so needy, or did come across so desperate, so needy. And that especially with guys, that puts them off quite a lot when a guy's like, do you like me? Do you like me? What do you like about me? What, I like you. Do you like me?
I'll send like my friend like a meme, and about a minute later, I'll be like, oh, he's not going to like that. Or just, I always find that with men is like, I feel like you have to be like aloof. You can't actually say that you're friends or commit to being a friend.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't use the F word. I've had people say that to me.
I have mates, but no friends.
I have acquaintances.
Oh.
I've got people I know. It's my mates, innit? My mates. And when we would go to these people's houses and I would be me, completely not knowing I was neurodivergent, completely unaware of why I would be like I was, but very aware of the fact that I was like I was. I never had that thing where people turn around and go, you talk a lot. And me go, no, I don't. No, of course I fucking do. I literally used to make a joke that if there was a competition, I'd be a fucking gold medalist for talking. I'd make that joke about myself, again, because of self-deprecation insecurities, but also, you know, I like to joke. I like to have fun.
A funny ha-ha guy.
Ah, yes. Funny ha-ha guy. So it was complicated because every time I'd hang out with them and then we didn't get another invite, or I'd send a message and it wasn't immediately replied to, which is something we can definitely talk about in a minute. I would just immediately be like, oh, they hated me. I never ever thought, oh, maybe they didn't like Sylvia. That literally, which was never the case anyway. I never ever thought, oh, Sylvia's the problem. Ever. It was always, oh, I'm the problem. And in some cases, I was. Some cases I would argue with people and I would upset them because of my opinions and them being religious. And it would upset them. Yeah, that was a lot of my opinions.
Yeah, oh dear.
But, you know, I didn't know I was doing it. So when I did get it right, I assumed I got it wrong.
Yeah, that really sort of like reflects a lot of like my experience as well. And especially when you were talking about the messaging. But one of the things that I can attest to as an experience is when I was working in sports journalism at TalkSport and was mixing and producing football games and things like that. I actually worked with somebody who I really, really looked up to. And loved his sort of like background and what he worked on. He'd been like the editor of like NME and Q magazine. These were magazines I used to like go to the shop and buy myself when I was younger. And he was like the first person that I was like in awe of. Like, wasn't necessarily starstruck, but I was like, oh my God, I'd love to be you. Like, I'd love to have had the career you've had and like some of the amazing stories that he used to tell. And I vividly remember making a mistake once at work, and he was shocked by it because we'd had like a really good rapport. And essentially, I was burnt out, I was tired, and I'd done a double shift that day. Ended up mixing it in the evening, and I made a rookie's mistake. And he was different with me after it, and I picked up on it. It was slight, but I did pick up on that his energy was a bit different with me, and I backed off of him. And I'll be honest, dude, this was 4 or 5 years ago. I still think about it because like when I left the station, I sent him a text saying like, I just want to say I've always had such huge respect for you. I've really loved working with you and I hope to see you around the bend. And he read it and never replied. And it eats me, dude. It still eats at me now. And like, I really have to sort of let it go a little bit. But the idea that somebody that I really like, really respected, doesn't like me and doesn't respect me, I'm not afraid to say it keeps me up at night sometimes. It'll flash across my brain and I just want to like hide under my duvet and curl up out of like just pure embarrassment. And I've spoken to other people where I was like, oh, have you spoken to Danny? And he was like, oh yeah, he was asking how you were. And I was like, yeah, I bet he was. And I can't like let it in, even though I'm sure if I was to see him now, he'd be like, oh, hello, Simon, how are you? What have you been working on? How's things? But I felt like the temperature change in our working relationship. And it was like he suddenly just doubted me. And then I doubted myself. But just that little thing of like, when I texted him and said, oh, I'm leaving the station, best of luck. And he just kind of left me on red. Oh, dude, it broke me.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's exactly what we keep talking about. This whole manly man thing is that someone's just basically said, I admire you and everything that you've done, and you've been a big inspiration to me. A lot of guys, in the same way as when somebody does that to you, you just go, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
So he probably wanted to reply. He just didn't know what to say. Like, what do you say to that? Because I've had people message me from my experience of being somebody that a lot of people look up to. I've had so many, one literally yesterday, some guys like, saying all these lovely things, and he was saying all the things he's doing, and I was, and it was a huge message. And I just went, that's fantastic. And put a thumb up.
Dad thumbs up. I do that with my own dad. I'm like, love you, Dad. Hope you're good.
And he's like, yep.
Just the thumbs up emoji. Love it.
I just put, that's fantastic. And I don't know what else to say. One, I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to start a conversation, because I knew that if I started responding more than that, I would then be in a conversation, and I get a lot of messages. I've got over 100,000 followers. It's a lot, not the amount of followers, but the amount I have to deal with messages and stuff. So I have a life, and I don't get paid for Facebook. I don't get paid for talking to these people, and that doesn't mean that I want paying, and that doesn't mean that they're not worth helping. But I've been doing this for 6 years. 6 years I've been advocating. And I used to put so much energy into answering every single person. Every single person, I was like, I need to help this person. I need to help this person. I need to help this person. This person's reaching out to me when there are many, many experts or professionals out there. Why are they asking me, just some dude on Facebook? I'm like, that's how bad it is out there in the world of autism and the world of the negative rhetoric and the misinformation, that they're coming to me because I'm actually the only person they've come across who's being positive about being autistic, who's being positive about being neurodivergent, and is actually saying, do you know what? It's not all doom and gloom. The reality. So when I get these sort of messages now, dude, I am so burnt out from it that it's not that I don't want to respond. It's not that I don't want to help. It's not that I don't care. I just don't have the fucking spoons, dude. I have to be so careful. With, like I was saying the other day in the podcast, I have to micromanage what I expose myself to. Because let's be honest, most of the messages I get aren't positive. They are people's lives that are in dire straits. They're reaching out to me because they have no one else to reach out to. I also had quite a negative experience where I was trying to help this girl, and she latched on to me in like a very stalker way. And she was saying that we are best friends now, that that she wants to be part of my family.
Oh, it's intense, isn't it?
Yeah, because she saw that Anne, my new mum, she was like, oh, I've seen your followers become your family. And I'm like, whoa. And then she wanted to be on the podcast as well. And she was like, oh, I've got lots to say. And I was like, I was trying to help her. I kept trying to be like, no, this is not okay. This is not healthy. And the more I tried, the more she wanted to be my friend. And I was like, okay. So I just said, I'm stopping communication. This is very unhealthy. This is very not okay. You have to stop. Then she started making other accounts and started messaging and commenting with, why are you ignoring me? Oh, God, dude. It took a while for it to sort itself out. So on top of that, I have a fear of getting into conversations with people in private messages as well. So the point I'm trying to make is there are a million reasons why that guy might not have answered you. And I doubt the reason is that he didn't like you. Because I know
that, but it doesn't get rid of this really weird sort of feeling. It's like I know that there's been so many times where like I've had people message me from the show, about the show or wanting to be on the show, and again I've tried to go like, oh, that's great. It's not something that we're gonna do, but that's great, and I don't want to then be perceived as a bad guy. I'm almost thinking about how that guy was with me, and I'm like, I don't want to be like that, and then I'm worrying about being perceived almost like as a villain. Like I don't want somebody to have a negative reaction in like an interaction with me and then go, oh, this show shit, you shouldn't listen to it, horrible people. And I then just find I'm constantly doubting my instincts and what I shouldn't be doing because I'm afraid of how people are going to view me. It's a fucking minefield, I'll be honest. I talking about it's been good, but it does mess with me. And I think we'll take a bit of a break here, but when we come back, one of the things I'd like to talk to you about, dude, is I don't even know where my brain's going. My brain's at a file. We'll have a break. I literally just lost my train of thought so bad there.
And there was no washing machine involved.
Not a single washing machine. Enjoy the break.
Break time. See you in a moment, everyone.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Get early access to Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. 25% off the i8 bed, our most popular. Plus free home delivery. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Have you ever felt stuck in patterns that don't serve you? Struggled with stress or wanted to connect more deeply with yourself? Then I have to introduce you to a friend of the podcast, Ashley Bentley of Integrated Coaching, Breathwork and Hypnotherapy. Ashley is a highly experienced clinical hypnotherapist and coach specializing in working with neurodivergent minds. Through a unique blend of integrative coaching, breathwork and hypnotherapy, Ashley helps people rewire subconscious patterns, regulate their nervous systems, and step into more empowered versions of themselves. Whether you're dealing with addiction, anxiety, burnout, or struggles with self-acceptance, Ashley offers practical and science-backed tools tailored just for you. Her unique methods combine neuroscience, storytelling, and subconscious transformation to create real, lasting change. Jordan and I can personally attest to the profound and transformative effects of her sessions, which have been life-changing. She does all of these sessions online, meaning she can work with you no matter where you are in the world. If you're ready to break free from old patterns and start living with more clarity, confidence, and connection, go to bit.ly/AshleyNDE to book a free consultation or learn more. Welcome back to the Neurodivergent Experience. I'm Simon Scott, and I remembered my train of thought. And I'm with Jordan.
We fed him some methylphenidate.
Yeah, it just kicked
Extra
in.
strength.
No, so yeah, we were discussing perception. And one of the things that I wanted to touch on is the stimming in public, because
yeah, we can get back there.
We'll
I think we got a bit distracted.
We were. It's not like us.
I think that we might have ADHD. It's a rumor that's going around. I would like to debunk that rumor and say that it's a fucking fact.
Yeah,
it's never been
mate, that's what I've got.
More of a fact.
Oh, dear.
So yeah, I get to ask you now.
Oh.
Because obviously it has affected you.
Oh yeah.
So I want to know what sort of stims would you be afraid to do in public, and what sort of stims would you be willing to do in public now?
So, talk about the ones that I'm willing to do now. I am more than happy to dance in public now. Like if I'm in a store and just have a look,
yeah. Some lady asked me if I was drunk, and I said, "On life, baby."
Yeah, boy. Give me a shot of life. But yeah, no, that's my stim in public. I'm more than happy to dance in public. I'm way more happy to be a goofball. I let my echolalers come out a lot more now. Kind of unapologetically, I would say my echolale is really out, and I'm quite proud of how I've managed to give myself that sort of freedom, you know, because I have really, really worked on just allowing me to be me. It's something that has taken a lot of work. So they're the sort of stims that I allow. Stims that I've always had that I've never been really able to hide in public is tapping my fingers. I've always been walking and sort of tapping my fingers, and I've been a face toucher. I'm doing it now. Like a hair toucher has been a stim that I've always done, like sort of rubbing my hands through my hair. But the ones that I am quite self-conscious of and do catch myself doing and really try and stop is I scrunch my face up. It's like even when we're talking, I'll almost have a huge chunk of my lip in between my teeth, and I will move my face around a lot. I almost gurn a little bit with my jaw and move it around, and I have a nose ring as well that I have a bit of a habit of sort of spinning around. I've picked my nose as well. That's been a stim that I've had. But the one that I really struggle with, and when I feel it, I feel quite self-conscious, is blinking. I'm a big blinker. It's like, I don't know whether it's related to like dry eyes or just like chronic dry eye or anything like that. But I find sometimes the need to just give a really big blink. And it makes me self-conscious because I don't want anyone to look at me always. And I will find it just makes me feel really awkward. It's like I'm sat somewhere and I feel the need to like do a big blink, or I've
never noticed that.
Yes, I try and like hold it in, I think.
Thing, yeah, but like I've been around you in person and we have been inebriated with alcohol, and well, maybe because I was pissed, I didn't know it. I was like, "Oh my god, dude, have you watched the latest South Park?" Woo!
And I'm in the corner.
You just meow. Yeah. No, it's not something I've particularly noticed, but it's again, that's the perception, isn't it?
I guess so, because I do really feel it. It's like there used to be times where like I'd be out with people, or if like I was on a date when I was younger and stuff, and I would feel the need to go to the toilet and just like blink loads. I don't know. I don't know whether it's something that
was it 182 times.
Where are you? No, it's
Blink 182.
I got the reference, baby. Do you know what? I bet it's something that I think I do a lot more than I actually do. I really do.
Definitely.
I really do. Because I catch myself doing it, but I obviously think I do it a lot more, I guess. Thoughts, thinking, self-reflection. What a time.
Yeah. Which is important.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, talking about it really, really helps. I think talking about it with loved ones really, really helps. I know that I have that jaw thing. I've been doing it literally during this podcast. I jut my jaw out for no real reason. It's just something
Feels
happens.
good.
I don't really think of it as a stim, and more of like it's not a tick. It's not really a stim. It's just something I do, I guess. I guess you could count it as a stim. because if it doesn't make me feel good, I don't do it because I'm like, oh, I feel really, really good. So I kind of think it's more of a tick. So it's the same as like cracking my neck and things like that. I don't do it because a stim is really when you're doing something to express emotion because you can't express it in a different way. It's a way of releasing energy, either to express your happiness at something. You're so happy that you will literally, I mean, people call it jumping for joy. There's a literal term within the neurotypical, neurodivergent, neurodiverse world of called jumping for joy. That is a stim. Jumping is a stim. People jump for joy. People might have a different sort of stim when they're upset, you know, and it's a very common thing as well, where within circles of like, you know, Ashley doing therapy and doing mindfulness and things like that, people will talk about like self-soothing, like rubbing your chest. Yeah. You can rub your chest to calm you down, breathing like
it's like the hug yourself, like
deep
the butterfly
breathing,
tap
the hug yourself. Yeah. And these aren't necessarily stims, but this is stimming. So we stim because we don't express ourselves in the way that most people would expect, because we're expressive with our movements, because we're not so great at expressing ourselves with our words. So it doesn't become a deliberate act. It's just an emotional reaction to the situation. Whereas I think things like, you know, clicking the neck and the jaw and things, I think these are just habits more than anything. It's just a habit. But, you know, if people might count as a stim, I don't know. But like I said, it's more about like expressing your emotions through movement.
Did you find going through your unmasking process that you got new stims? Because, you know, when you were talking about like being really happy, like one of mine is I just like ball my hands into a fist. I like shake. I go, like I just have like a bit of a shake. I never used to do that before. And now I find myself doing it where I'm like, come on. And it sort of like I think it's developed with me just sort of being more kinder to myself. But have you found like stims have come and gone, like things that did work for you don't work for you anymore? Because like the neck cracking and the face moving and the blinking I've always had. But I find I go through phases of having, like, they come and go a bit.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's quite funny because when I found out I was autistic, and like I've always wanted to flap my hands in public. Yeah. Like I love it, and I used to do it when I did talks at schools. I was trying to bring awareness that being neurodivergent is different, but it's also very, very similar. It's just we do things more. And so I would get all the kids to and the teachers to just flap their hands, just shake their hands, just shake it out.
Wherever you're listening now,
yeah, if you're listening,
if it's safe
just
to
shake your hands, shake your hand. Yeah, not while driving.
Yeah, don't do that.
don't do that. So if you shake your hands, it actually releases endorphins. It releases energy. It feels good to just shake your hands. And that's the interesting thing, is because once again, a bit like the self-soothing thing, people who are encouraged to be like, okay, we're gonna warm up, we're gonna release some energy, and this is you need to shake it out. You need to shake out the bad. You need to shake out the negative energy, and that's what they'll do. They'll shake their hands, and it's like, yeah, autistic people have been doing that forever. I'm just saying. We basically invented that. So if you're doing that, you're
due.
Yeah, you're just copying the trendsetters, and I think it's more of the fact that people choosing to do that, it becomes a positive thing because it does feel good. But like I said, we don't really choose to do that all the time. So when I decided just to let it go and just do that in public, because it wasn't something that I did in public before, because to be honest, I had other things that I would do. And it wasn't a fear of doing that. I just never really thought about doing that. in public. So it's kind of a little bit like when you find out you're autistic, you start becoming more stereotypically autistic.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
And it's very interesting. So I started, it's like doing things that I would read about and going, oh, autistic people do that. Maybe I should do that.
And now I shall walk on my tippy toes.
Yeah. No, that, oh God, that's a thing.
Yeah,
That's a problem.
I've always done that.
That is a problem. But yeah, so I started just doing it, and my God, it feels good. Like, it just feels good. It is a way of making me feel better when I'm upset, because it releases that negative energy. It actually works. It's not hippy dippy bullshit. It's fucking real. It genuinely works. And we are evolved to do that. Evolution has made us do that. And the thing is like I said, it's back to the baby brain. That's how babies self-soothe. They will clutch their hands. They will tighten their hands. They will grab things. They will bite, chew things. They will touch things. They will move around and that's what babies do, because they're self-soothing. And parents, think about this, right? You've got these things called baby bouncers. So parents, or a rocker, so they'll have a baby in a car seat and they'll rock the baby. And it's that movement. Like, babies go to sleep in cars when they're driving in cars. So parents will literally put them in a car and drive them around so they go to sleep.
Did.
Yeah. They said, they sleep better when we go for a drive. And it's that movement. It's that vibration that soothes them. And we still have those synaptic pathways. So the way we are soothed, the way we are relaxed, the way we feel good is that. It's become a stimming episode now.
Yeah, but it is so tied into perception, because one of the reasons as to why I was so unregulated for a lot of my life is because I didn't allow myself to stim in public, in private, or anything. I was just so self-conscious. And I think a lot of that ties into where I think so many of our people struggle, is because we are so self-conscious and of the reactions and the consequences of just us being us, that's why so many of us are highly masked people, because we're so sensitive to how we're perceived. So I think it is all sort of tied in together. But I've really enjoyed this chat, dude. It's helped me put things a little bit at ease, because I'm still an unmasking, late diagnosed person, and every day's a new day, and I have my moments where I have to be kind to myself and just sort of allow that space. And like, even talking about the guy that I used to work with, you're right, I don't know how I would have answered to that message. So it's something that I kind of need to allow myself a bit of peace with. But I think it's so interesting how, you and I are so similar and so different, but yet it's like there's all these like sort of little things that tie us together, isn't there? And I'm glad that we've talked about this, because it's definitely something that I think you're gonna see and read and hear a lot more about. Because even trying to look it up online, it just seems to come into the RSD thing, and I think it is like a sub thing of RSD, perception.
It's a subcategory.
Yeah, it's a
isn't
subcategory. Yeah.
But I think it's all of the sensitivity dysphoria. It's just trauma based, man. That is the thing, is that people will say, oh, it's a neurodivergent thing, and yes, it is, because we've all been traumatized, and it comes down to most things, is that neurodivergent people and neurotypical people, we're just people. We're all people, and we all have the same feelings, the same expectations, the same thoughts, the same fears. We're all just people. The major difference, due to the lack of synaptic pruning, that we are more sensitive to everything around us because we still have that baby brain. We still have that brain of we are helpless and our environment is dangerous. So we have hypersensitivities to everything around us, a heightened sense of how to protect ourselves. And that's most animals, because our brains don't know we're living in 2025. They don't, it doesn't register that on an evolutionary perspective. What it does think is that, everything's out to get us.
Everything's trying to eat me. Yeah.
Because if we lived in the wild, as the apes we are, everything is out to get us. That's the point. We had this sensitivity when we were living in caves, and it was incredibly beneficial because there's a fucking saber-toothed tiger trying to eat your family. So you'd have to have really good hearing. You'd have to have really sensitive eyesight to be able to see in dark places. And the thing is that that's what we still have. And it's also the sensitivity to feelings because we're sensitive. There's no way around that. And I think it's just good to realize that if anyone's listening and they're like, I'm not neurodivergent, but I still worry about what people think of me. Yeah, because it's not a neurodivergent thing. It's just, it impacts us more. I can't stress that enough, that we're just like everyone else, except the things that impact a neurotypical impact us way, way more, depending on the person, depending on their particular sensitivities, depending on what pruning happened, what pruning didn't happen. We just more sensitive. And I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, well said, my friend. Well, thank you so much for everyone that's stuck with us and tuned in with us. We will be back tomorrow because it's Friday tomorrow, and that's going to be a hot topic. So looking forward to bringing that to you. As always, thank you, lovely people. Take care of yourself. Be kind. Nightly bye.
Nightly bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Neurodivergent Experience. We hope today's episode sparks something for you, whether it's a new idea, a bit of validation, or just a moment of connection. Remember, new episodes are every week, so be sure to join us for the next one for more conversations and insights into the neurodivergent experience. If you've enjoyed this podcast, help us grow. You can do that by rating and reviewing this show. Your support makes a huge difference in helping us reach more people who could benefit from these conversations. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search for the Neurodivergent Experience. Thank you again for listening, and until next time, take care of yourself. You're not alone in this journey.
This is not a drill. You can get the new iPhone 16e with Apple Intelligence for just $49.99 when you switch to Boost Mobile.
Wait, that's the actual fire alarm. We need to go. Visit your nearest Boost Mobile store for full offer details. Apple Intelligence requires iOS 18.1 or later. Restrictions apply.